Welcome back, everyone. Woo-hoo! And when you hear me doing that on the show, you know
I'm
that
back.
Michael Henderson is here. He's the owner of Tapestry Insurance Group. Michael, one of the nicest guys. What you really truly are, but what you really are the most is a seniors advocate. This, I want people to listen up and hear about you.
Yeah, we care, insurance. Insurance salespeople have a bad rap. I get it. I don't like them either. No.
See what I mean about him?
But I view us in the Medicare industry, because that's primarily what we do is Medicare. I view us as serving the community, meaning we would rather educate the public on Medicare and help them understand it, and then help them with an enrollment if it fits. Different than trying to sell somebody something. And so that's my philosophy, and that's why we're here today and have been here on your show, because it's just about spreading, information to the community.
Absolutely. And that, what I say, is what I love about this show, is that people get to hear information.
Yeah.
And maybe it's you or someone that you can tell them about it. And that's what networking is really all about.
Yeah, it's with Medicare, everybody knows somebody that's on Medicare, whether it be a mom, a dad, an aunt, an uncle, a grandmother, a grandfather, or just a neighbor. So we all know somebody that's on it versus, trying to do something else where you may not be wanting to buy a new stereo at the time. But everybody knows somebody that's on Medicare. So
right.
That's what's nice, and that's why I try to get the word out so much about it.
And one thing that we've said many times on my show,
any day's a Medicare
every
day.
day's a Medicare day.
Yeah.
We've been saying that for so long, and the
time.
truth is that somebody turns 65 every single day, and
Yeah.
they need help. I think there's a lot of questions that they have, and then once you're on, you got to know if you're in the right plan and all of that.
Yeah. Case in point, have a client that called me. She actually is retiring, and she's over 65. She's 70, so she had no use for Medicare until now because she had an employer group plan. Well, when we looked into it, she would have saved money on Medicare, by the way, but that's in the past. But anyway, so she's been Medicare eligible, but she never started her Part B and looked into it. So it's not just about people turning 65, it's also people that are because most people are working past 65 now.
Oh my gosh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, we're all gonna
Forever,
have to do that.
I'm dying that way.
Yeah. So it hits a lot of people, not just people that are turning 65.
Well, and I never really thought about how many people are still working at a job, and you don't even think about it, but maybe it's good to have a consultation with you. It's free to do. It does nothing to charge you for anybody. So, it makes sense to maybe have that consultation, because maybe it's better that you are on.
There can be. I won't say for everybody, because you could work for a very large company that pays a big portion of your health insurance, but Medicare, the base rate's about $184 a month. So if you're paying more than that for your health insurance out of your paychecks every month, if you're paying a couple $100 a paycheck or a couple $100 a month, you might save money going on to Medicare and reduce deductibles and things like that in the process. Now, that may not be for everybody. It just depends on the situation. But,
right.
But yeah, it's and give us a call. It's free.
It's free.
Yeah.
So their number to call, I'll get it out, is 480-847-0701. And you have said also, one of the things that you have been pushing is that you want people to call somebody local.
Yeah, I think it's really important. So we have, at the end of the year, the last quarter of the year during the annual enrollment, we see those ads on TV.
You see them all the time.
Non-stop, and this time of year as well. But you're calling somebody in a call center somewhere, Timbuktu, Florida, like we've talked about before.
Yeah, we're going to go sometime to Timbuktu, Florida.
Yeah, we looked it up. But they don't know your local market. They don't know doctor networks. They don't know hospitals networks and things like that. So it can be complicated. And so I believe it's very important to talk to somebody local, to get to your point. Your local person, if you have a question in the future, not just about enrolling in a plan. If you have a question in the future, you've got somebody local to talk to.
Sure.
So it's also that follow-up.
Right. And what about your medications? They change all the time.
They can, obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Our physiology or whatever changes, and so our medical needs change, prescription drugs. Can't tell you how many clients from year to year their prescription list has gotten smaller or bigger or whatever.
Let me ask you something. Every time somebody gets a new prescription, should they call you?
Well,
Cause that could be a lot.
it could be, there's only certain times that you can change plans though, so.
Okay,
Let's take an example, somebody goes to the doctor in June, July, and their doctor puts them on a new prescription. There's a chance that we could change plans based on like a special election period or something like that. However, they might still be locked into that drug plan until annual enrollment coming in October of that year. But yes, it's good to check it out, if nothing else, just to see, because sometimes the doctor will say, hey, we're gonna put you on this or this, and you can look those drugs up to see which one might be more
right.
advantageous,
Well, I
right?
think that would be a good
Yeah.
idea to do for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm not a doctor, I'm just looking up the prices.
So I want to ask you too, I mean, I think that people should also know that you are, you service the entire Southwest.
Yep, we work the entire Southwest, and when you call our office, you'll get possibly Norma, the office manager there, or myself. We're gonna connect you with a local agent. So if you're in Prescott, or down south in Tucson, or anywhere in between, or whatever, it's not like you're gonna talk to us like we're a call center, we're gonna connect
Right.
you with a local agent there.
Right, and they want to hear your story first, they want to see
Yep.
where you're located, how they can help you.
Yep.
And then if you're not right here, they can help you in your area.
Yeah. So Southwest, if you happen to be listening from New Mexico or something like that, we've got agents there as well.
So the number to call is 480-847-0701. Now, here we go again.
Okay,
We're gonna do
let's
this,
do it.
okay? You gotta leave a message.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because there's rules in Medicare,
Mhm.
right? And you just have to leave a message, because if you don't leave a message, he can't call you back.
Yeah, so again, the office number, you'll likely get somebody during office hours, but if not, if we're busy, leave a message. We have to have what's called permission to contact. And that's to protect our communities, our senior communities, from what they call predatory practices. And a lot of you will know that you already get a lot of phone calls, they're not supposed to do that. But we have to have permission to call, we go by the rules. So yeah, leave us a message, we'll call you back and get you connected with somebody.
So let's say somebody right now is like turning 65, and when is the best time for them to call you?
Well, any time would be the answer to that.
Any days, every day is a Medicare day,
Yeah.
so any time to call.
Yeah, but traditionally, Medicare, Part A or B, or both, depending on your age and things like that, you'll start getting information from Medicare, not all the sales stuff you're getting in the mail, but stuff from Social Security and Medicare, you'll start getting about 90 days from your birthday month, okay? So anytime in there, we can definitely talk. We can't do anything with your plan until your Medicare's active.
Mhm.
Well, excuse me, we can't start a plan until the Medicare's active, but we can do an enrollment up to 90 days before.
Okay.
Sorry about that. So yeah, so there's options, but anytime, if you're turning 65 in 6 months, we still can talk, because there's
Get
some
yourself
planning.
in there and
Yeah.
know what you gotta do, so
Exactly.
that you're planned and that you're not rushed, that's another thing.
Yep.
And again, that phone number to call is 480-847-0701. Leave a message, and they will call you back, and they'll figure out if you're not in his area right exact. He
Yep.
covers the entire Southwest, and then you got little people, little Michaels, I like to say, underneath you that help, that can help you and service you.
Yeah.
Before we go to a break, is there something right now that you would want to get out for everybody to know that is the most important thing when it comes to Medicare?
I think the most important thing is information, to be
Yes,
honest with you.
I agree.
Because there's a lot of information online, there's a lot of information you get in the mail, but what if any of it pertains to you, right? So if you need to get information that pertains to you, obviously you gotta get the Medicare information first,
Right.
but then how does that affect you and your health and your financial well-being? And that's the part that's important.
And when you're listening to the ads on television, I gotta say that I look at that kind of stuff because I'm very
I love ads on
connected.
TV.
But, some of them, I don't wanna say that they're deceiving, but they're confusing is a thing. And if you could call and you think that you're gonna get that, and unfortunately, if you call, they're very good at what they do.
They are, yeah.
And unfortunately, you don't wanna get wrapped up in, hooked up into anything.
Yeah, they're salespeople versus educators, in my opinion, first of all.
Mhm.
And second, yeah, if you call, they're gonna try to get you on to a different
Because
plan.
more than likely, they only have that one plan that they're gonna, and you have many, I mean, I don't know how many you are.
Yeah, there's, just here in Maricopa County, there's like 80 different Advantage plans, plus all the supplements and the prescription drug plan. There's lots of choices.
We're gonna go to a break, we're gonna come back, we're gonna talk a little bit further. His phone number to call again, it's 480-847-0701. He covers the entire Southwest, and what I love about Michael is he is definitely your seniors advocate, and he will help you. And if you're not in his area, he's got people that can help you in your area. You do wanna speak to somebody local, again, that number is 480-847-0701. Hang tight, we'll be back in just a minute.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! So, we didn't really say, did you want to talk about anything special today? And we never
Everything's
said.
special. Everything about Medicare is special.
That's very true. Did you want to talk about hiring people too, or no?
Yeah, we can talk about, people that might want to look at this as
Perfect.
something to supplement their income or whatever it might be. There's always things. It's like the lady who is just retiring. There's always
It's always somebody.
always somebody that needs help, and we always think about it in terms of turning 65, because we talked about it a lot, obviously. But like we said, a lot of people, well, everybody almost is working past 65 now.
Yeah,
So-
does that make it harder for you because people are working? It doesn't matter.
No, because some people will still want to know when they're still working.
And not everybody who works for a company has a company
It's
even.
insurance.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if a group plan, let's just say if the group plan's $600 or $700 a month, which is not uncommon for the employer, and the employee's paying half of it, 50% or 40% or 50%, that could be $300 out of their check
That's
every
a lot
month.
of money.
That's a lot of money. So this helps them because they could go on to Part B at 65, which is 184-ish, depending on if there's an IRMA or not, and get a plan with probably no deductible, and a lot of employer plans have $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 deductibles.
Oh, God, yeah.
So it can really save people money. Not everybody. I mean, there's big companies that pay 100% of the employer
Right,
insurance, but
That's not everybody who's working for a company like that anymore.
not anymore. I mean, there's more people employed by smaller organizations, and it's just very costly.
Right, and
for them
even
to
the
provide
larger
insurance.
ones, they have cut back.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure, yeah. Cut back on benefits and things like that. So
But there's also a ton of people who are self-employed,
yeah,
right?
they can't even get a group insurance.
No, not
Yeah.
at all.
Yep.
I mean, I've never worked for anybody. I mean,
Yeah.
since I was maybe really young.
Yeah.
Right.
And unfortunately, because of that, they may not even, sometimes some people don't even check on Medicare when they turn 65 because they're just not in that mindset.
Oh, 'cause they don't know.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
So it can impact people.
And if and there's rules to that too.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's so many rules.
Going so fast here
Woo-hoo!
today. We're killing it.
I love Michael. I love him.
I keep hitting my face on the microphone because last
What?
week I keep hitting my face on the microphone because last week they kept saying get
Stop
closer.
it. Oh, yeah. You have to be close on it.
Woohoo!
Woohoo!
We're back.
We got Michael Henderson here, and he's the owner of Tapestry Insurance Group. And Michael, like I said it earlier, you are one of the nicest guys. So you're a people person, that is for sure. And you're
might as
also
well have fun, right?
yeah, but you make a complicated subject easier for people to understand because you educate. That's what you're all about.
Yes, it's. I don't like to be sold stuff. I'll just speak for myself, and so I like people to educate me on the positives and negatives of whatever we're looking at,
Right.
whatever widget it is, and so that's the approach that I took with insurance, with Medicare, because I believe, especially in this one, it's even more important for the education, because there's so many pieces, as we talked about in the first segment, that you got to kind of mash it all together and make it make sense.
Mash
Mash it all
Medicare.
together. Medicare mash. Medicare
Medicare
mashup.
mash. Well, you know, and also you love what you do. You
Yes.
are so passionate about it, but you're passionate about the people.
It's the
And,
community.
yeah, but you have told the story before where you just love what you do, and even the first time, you know, you realized it the first time you ever went out to work
Yeah.
with somebody.
Yeah, you know, I didn't quote unquote do an enrollment or sell anything.
Right, it wasn't even about that.
Yeah.
And here you didn't even enroll anything, buddy, and you said, this is what I wanna do.
Yeah, I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Just because of her reaction to me educating her on her options and things like that. And
Right.
at the end, as you know, she said, hey, Michael, is there anything that I have to do? By the way, she hated the government, Medicare, and doctors, so.
She was a
fun.
tough one.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, but great lady, anyway, and so she didn't have to do anything, right, it's a choice, but I let her know, again, just reiterated some of the pitfalls possibly, and she said, no, I'm good. I said, okay, great, you know, and that just sat with me as, and I didn't make any money, of course, so it didn't help me out at all, but it
Right.
helped me mentally.
Right.
Like, it just felt so good to be able to help her eliminate her confusion, and then it set the stage for where we are today.
Right, and this is a free service to you, the families out there. It really just makes sense. And you had said earlier, you know, there are people there that do what you do, but I don't know that there's a lot of people out there that realize that people like you even exist.
That's true, and I have heard it from many clients and many agents that are working with clients. Just they, you know, will start talking, and an agent will say, I don't know, this person said they didn't even know there was people like us out there, and I've
Right.
heard the same things from my clients directly. Ironically, and I think I've said it on the show in the past, even medical professionals have a client, she works at a hospital in Scottsdale, and her and her coworkers never even knew there was people like us out here.
Wow.
And they work in the medical
In the field.
Yeah. Not that that's insurance, but it's one step closer than most people, right?
Right.
So, and once she found me, then all of her friends didn't have to go to the internet anymore. So.
And by the way, you shouldn't. We also have talked about this before, which is you shouldn't do it on your own, because you just don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And
Yeah.
we've said that before. But also, you shouldn't talk to your neighbors. Not to say that you
should talk to your neighbors,
yeah. But not about what they're on.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I think a while back, I was at a dinner,
Mhm.
and there was all these older folks there,
Mhm.
and they were talking about, oh yeah, and I don't
It's
know.
always
it
the
was
top of the
number F.
conversation.
It's for older people, yeah, you know. And right away, this one guy was saying, "Oh, you gotta," and I had really probably just had met you and had you on, and I'm thinking, well, how do you know that's right for him?
Mhm.
I mean, he kept on pushing
Yeah.
it and pushing. Oh, it was like F, was some number
Yeah.
weird.
You know, it's funny because we all like, oh, the car I drive is the best thing in the world. I love it to death,
Right.
But everybody has different needs. What if you need a pickup truck? You don't want a car, right? So it's the same with Medicare. Why am I talking about cars?
No,
I
but it
don't
was
even
great.
know.
Though. It was a great analogy.
You know, your neighbor's plan, I don't want you to be a recluse and not talk to your neighbor, but your neighbor's plan.
I'm not talking to mine though. I'll tell you now.
Your neighbor might be on the best plan for them. But what are the chances that your health is the same as your neighbor's, your financial status is the same, all that kind of stuff? And that's where things are different. Medicare, in and of itself, that doesn't change. Medicare is Medicare.
Right. It's
But
you.
there's lots of different plans, and so we gotta find a plan that's gonna fit for you.
Right.
And that's the difference. So yeah, you can get information wherever you want to, but definitely get the whole picture before you make a decision.
Now, their phone number to call is 480-847-0701. And, you know, he services the entire Southwest. If you call, please just, if they don't answer, which normally they do, if they don't, just leave a message, and they can tell you how they can help. We wanted to talk also a little bit about people that, you might be looking for agents.
Yeah, you know, we're always looking for good people that want to serve the community. We've got a lot of agents out there around the country, and obviously our biggest state with agents is here in Arizona, but there are a lot of people that need help. This is an industry that there's Well, as I just mentioned, there's a lot of people that don't know we exist. So obviously, there's still a lot of word to get
You
out
got-
there,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
So yeah, if you wanna explore, getting some income on the side if you're retired, or if you just wanna switch careers or something like that, it's a commission job. We get paid from the carriers, but it's so rewarding and it's so much fun, and you can build a really viable income for you and your family with it.
So what kind of person do you look for?
We look for anybody that wants to help
Breathing.
people. Yeah. You've got to, in my opinion, it's different than selling cars. I keep talking about cars. I don't know why.
Are you gonna buy one today?
No, I'm not. But but it's it's as we talked about, it's not really a sales thing. But salespeople are great. They just have to have a little different mindset. We have guys men and women that have been in the military. They have that mentality to serve. Teachers. Social service, social workers, and things like that have come and made very good agents, because it's just that mindset of helping people. And then, like I've said before, I feel like I volunteer every day, but I'm able to pay the bills. So you get to serve, but you get to pay your bills as well. So.
Now, when somebody calls you and says, this sounds kind of interesting, do you help them? How does that work then?
Yeah, so we want to, we do several things. We can connect them with one of our agencies that we work with. We help them with so you got to go through and get your license. So you have to take a test, and we have the testing information. We have a discount on that. It's more than 50% off. I think it's 60 or 70% off on that. So that's all online, so you can study online. Then you go in, take your test. Then you get your license with the state, and then you can get appointed with the carriers.
And that's awesome. And
I make it sound easy, by the way. But no.
Well,
there's a little work to it.
Obviously there's work to anything, and I think for you, the most time that you're the busiest, obviously, is in senior season.
Senior season,
Senior season, which is October. We're on.
Annual enrollment is the busiest, but we have people getting licensed during the year at all times.
All the time, because there's. Well, like we said, somebody turns 65 every day, so there's a ton of people to be able to help. And whether you're right here in the valley or in the southwest area, they are looking to, have them join the group, basically.
Yeah, and we can help agents pretty much all over the country, so if you know somebody. But yeah, we just want people to be able to impact the community, be able to pay their bills, provide for their family,
And when you think about it, so many people are looking for work. They really are, and they find it harder and harder every day, especially if they're a little bit older. Right? What a great business to be in your own business, basically too. Either it's something that you can do on the side. I think for as a teacher, it's fantastic.
Yeah, especially if you're not teaching year round.
Yeah.
If you're off in the summers or something like that. But yeah, it can be very rewarding. It's a lot of fun. It's hard work, but we might as well have fun with it.
Yeah, and with Michael, you're going to have fun, that's for sure.
Let's have fun.
Especially, and when we're talking about Medicare, and there's questions all of the time. It comes up just all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And what I love about Michael the most is that that's all you try and do, is we want to make sure that you can help people to understand what they're gonna, what their wants are. It's really that starts off with that.
Yeah, and the other thing is, we're not trying to be your total insurance solution. What I mean by that is, we're not trying to sell you auto insurance and homeowners insurance and life insurance and all that stuff.
That's a good point. I don't think you've ever mentioned that. Say that again.
So, we do have agents that do other products, but our agency focuses on Medicare. And there's a reason for that. We could probably make more money and do more with more products, but we really want to focus on Medicare because I feel that that's where the gap is for people, and that's where people need help.
And they need the education, and that is what they're all about. And one of the other things that he advocates for everybody to do, please talk to somebody local. And his phone number to call is 480-847-0701. Woohoo! Michael Henderson will help you. He's your seniors advocate. Again, if you call and they don't answer, just leave a message so they can call you back. Again, he services the entire Southwest. And what's great about Michael, he is not just covering just one carrier. He has all of the different carriers out there.
We work with a lot of carriers. We want to help you get the information that you need for you and your family, and just be able to move onward and upward.
That phone number again, it's 480-847-0701.
Woo-hoo!
Woo!